Welcome to the Monday Muse. If this is interesting to you, please click subscribe, follow, and share. Today is a big topic. I'm going to be coming back to this again and again and again because it's impossible really to get our arms around. It has to do with identity. It has to do with who you are. We get very attached to the word I, that one little syllable, I am this way. I think this. I align with that. I'm the kind of person who. We get very identified with this I, and it gets us in a lot of trouble because you are none of those things. You are, as am I, as everyone, is nothing more and nothing less than consciousness, than attention. You are the ability to place your attention, the awareness. That's what we are. We're awareness. The I feel this way, I feel that way is identifying with the thoughts of the mind or the feelings of the body. Michael Singer explains this really well. He says, think of yourself when you're looking in the mirror and you're 10 years old. You see a body, you see a 10-year-old body, right? Are you there? Yes, you're in there. But now look at yourself in the mirror now. Are you still there? You are there, but you look completely different, right? He says, if we could cut off your arms, are you you? Yep. We could take your legs away. Are you you? Yes, we could take everything away and you are still you. You are the observer of you. Why is this important? Because the personality has a lot of different parts, right? We have the part that wants to eat all the chocolate cake, and we have the part that wants to lose weight. We have the part that is madly in love one moment with our spouse and totally annoyed to no end the next. We have all of these different parts that come into play any time of day without us even knowing, right? We have the part that's in a great mood and thinks everything's going great until you get into traffic. And then a different part comes out and says, this day is terrible. This is horrible, right? We can think one thing and believe one thing, and then we can take in new information and have a completely different belief. Those are all different parts. But the I, the observer, the attention is still there. And depending on where you are placing your attention, that's, of course, we know where energy is going to go. But where you place your attention, you can very easily get locked in and your attention can be taken away by that one thing. So let's say something really great happens and you can't stop thinking about it. You're just thinking about that. You want more of that. How can I create more of that? How can I have that experience again? Or let's say something that you believe is bad happens, that your mind deems bad happens. Now you're completely occupied with that. That's got your attention. I can't believe that happened. How do I make sure it doesn't happen again? Who can I complain to about how this happened? What am I going to do about this? All of your attention is drawn in. Same thing is true with your emotions. Let's think about that, right? Like, let's say you're feeling anxious about something. That's fine. You have anxiety happening in your body. You're feeling that sensation. Where is your attention? Is your attention drawn into that anxiety to the point that it is thinking, you are thinking from the place of it, like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Ugh, these people hate me. Or, oh God, what's going to happen? When is the other shoe going to drop? What happens if so-and-so does this, that, or the other? What if I don't get the promotion? What if, yada, 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 right? Your attention is wrapped up in that I that's saying, I need it to be this way. I believe these things. That is called suffering. And it is our addiction to human suffering. And the more that you can begin to develop your attention so that you're not going to get away from those things, by the way. You still will have the anxiety and you'll still have the desire to eat all the cake and you'll still have all of these things. But your attention is in observance of that. In other words, that emotion or that thought isn't determining your behavior or driving you around. You are aware that there is an experience inside yourself that feels anxious, that feels self-degradating, that feels conceited, that feels, and you're aware that that's happening. Why do you want to become more aware and be able to separate from that? Well, because those things, even if they're good things, can be extremely difficult to live with, because it's unrealistic that we're always going to have good things happening. It's just not realistic. And the more we have a good thing happening, we want to cling to it. And then we're living in the past, thinking about it over and over again. And we're driven in the future, trying to create it again. And that is an uphill battle. And if something that's happening that your mind says is bad is happening, well, now you're hijacked with that, and your mood is going up and down based on what your mind is telling you. Life gets a lot simpler when you're able to begin to observe the mind. Don't get all tangled up in it. Let it do its thing, because that's what it's going to do. That's what minds do. The mind is a machine. It is literally a machine. It runs without your telling it to do anything. And it's very, very strong. It's overpowering. Can you begin to observe the mind? And what happens when you can just observe it and say, oh, there's that anxiety. Mm-hmm. Not thinking about it. This is so hard to explain. Not even to the point that you're talking to yourself, but you are just literally in observance. I observe the anxiety. I observe the insecurity. And then you don't put any more attention on it. You just let it go. And what happens is it begins to diffuse. It goes away when you practice this. It is a practice. It takes a long time. It's not something that happens overnight. And if you think that you're doing it already, it is extremely likely, 99% likely, that unless you've been doing this work for 20 years and you're a yogi and you're doing all the things, and even if you are that, it is more likely than not that you're observing it with your mind. You're observing it with your intellect. You're not in true observance of it. Another reason that you want to do this is because what the mind will do is it'll say, oh, I can't believe you didn't do it. I can't believe you didn't meditate today. I can't believe you weren't serene today. You weren't this, you weren't that. That's not observation. That's beating yourself up. That is becoming attached to who you are, what you're doing, what you're not doing. This observation, this attention is a being function. It's not a thinking function. It's not a doing function. It's a being function where everything is just what it is. It's not good. It's not bad. It is. And that's kind of what we all are. We just are. And so beginning to do this will help you to build that third force, that neutral force that's able to stand in the middle of the good and the bad of something, for example, and just be in observance of what the mind and the personality parts are trying to tell you about what's happening in your life. When you can do that, you have a lot more access to your intuition, because there's not a lot of noise going on saying you should have done this, or you should do that, or this person that, or this person, well, I feel this way, I can't stand it, I got to make it go away. All of that stuff is your mind doing gymnastics, just keeping you at a distance from your intuition. Let me know what you think about this. We'll come back to it again and again. If you enjoyed this, please share it with other people. Throw a comment down. Give this podcast a 5-star review if you like it, so other people can find it. And as always, I'd love to hear your newfound wisdom.